So you've decided that you want to sell your house because you want to capitalize on the strong seller's market we're in right now. It's probably going to sell in a matter of a couple of days for a record high price. The only problem, maybe the next house you want to move to is not on the market yet and not ready for you to buy. Or on the flip side of that, maybe you've already found the right house that you want to buy and move to, but you still need to sell your current one. Today, I'm going to give you 3 options of what you can do if you're stuck in this situation. So option number 1, when you're wanting to buy a house, but you already have one that you need to sell, is you can sell the house first. The advantages of this are up on your screen now. You capitalize on the strong market and sell at a higher price. Like I mentioned at the top of this video, we're in a record high, strong seller's market, and you're going to get top dollar for your home. Also, by doing this, you'll have money in the bank and financial peace of mind, knowing that you already have the money in your pocket from your house sale and you're ready to apply that as a down payment on your next house. And lastly, on the advantages, you have a competitive edge when buying your next home. So if you already have the money in your pocket, you don't have a property to sell, there's not a whole lot holding you back from making a great offer that a seller of another property would want to accept. Some of the disadvantages of selling first is you could be homeless or living with parents, renting, or just in general, you're in a less desirable situation. Another disadvantage is you're going to be waiting on your next home to come onto the market. And honestly, with the way inventory is right now, you don't know if that's going to be in 2 weeks, 2 months, or maybe even a year. So you don't know how long that you'll be waiting and you'll be living in that temporary living situation. So a plan of action if you're wanting to sell first, find a temporary housing option, then call me to sell your home for top dollar, and we'll both keep an eye on the market in the meantime to find your next home. Option number 2 is buying and selling at the same time, and this is what most of my clients end up doing. The advantages of this, you technically only own one home throughout the entire process. So the way it works is we would sell your house, the closing for it would be on a Monday, for example, and then you would buy your next house on Tuesday. So you line them up back to back. You're only going to be making one payment throughout this whole process, which is really nice. Another big advantage, you're only going to be making one move. That is really nice because in option 1, where you sell first, you're going to move to a temporary housing option, then move to whatever would be maybe your forever home. So in this case, when you take option 2, buy and sell at the same time, you're only going to make one move, which is really convenient. Another advantage is you have safety nets in place if things fall through, and I'll talk more about those in the plan of action for option 2. The disadvantages of buying and selling at the same time, there's stressful deadlines to follow from buyers and sellers. So with your house, you're going to have to keep things rolling as far as the selling process goes, working with that buyer, trying to be very patient with them, trying to make all the deadlines match up with your next house that you're buying. So again, there's a lot of stressful deadlines there and trying to meet closing dates, trying to get all inspections done, all the loan stuff done, title work. So it can become really stressful buying and selling at the same time. Second, you become less competitive in a multiple offer situation. If you still have a house to sell and you make an offer on a property that you want to buy, let's just give an example that you and another buyer are bidding on the same property. You guys put in the exact same offer, but that other buyer does not have to sell a house first. They're going to more than likely be the offer that the seller accepts over yours. And also, the third disadvantage is you could potentially sell your home for less than it's worth. If you end up sitting on the market for a long time, or you just need to make the house sell just so you can move on with the buying process of your next place because you don't want to lose that house, again, you may end up selling for less than it's worth in this situation. So the plan of action for option number 2, when you're wanting to buy and sell at the same time, you can do this a couple different ways. My recommendation is that you list your house for sale first. Now, I know that sounds like a leap of faith and that might scare you because, Austin, what if we accept an offer on it really quick and it sells and we have nowhere to move to? Well, that's where this clause comes into effect, when you sit down and list your house with me, we would put a suitable housing contingency or clause in your listing agreement. And basically what this means is you're not required to sell your house until you find one that you want to buy. So this is really nice for you as a seller because you can accept an offer from another buyer on your home. And as long as they're willing to wait things out until you find something new, you have that buyer basically sitting on deck, so to speak, ready to buy your house and ready to start that process as soon as you find a new house, which is really nice. Or if you want to do the flip-flop, and again, I don't recommend this, you can try to buy first and then put your house on the market. The only problem with that is, again, it makes you less competitive in a multiple offer situation because you don't even have your house on the market yet. So if you put an offer in on a house to buy, you don't have yours on the market yet, that seller of that property is probably not going to be very likely to accept your offer. So that's why I prefer that you put your home up for sale first, then we keep an eye out on what to buy. But if you are wanting to buy first, then sell, you would make an offer saying, we can't buy this house until ours sells. And that's your safety net in that deal, to where if you for some reason can't get your house sold, then you are not required to buy this other property. Option number 3 is you can buy first. The advantages of this, you secure a place to move to, which is the hardest thing right now because inventory and the number of houses on the market are so low. The pickings are so slim that if you're able to buy first, that's a great option because selling right now seems like a slam dunk. Buying something is what's much harder. So the disadvantages of this, your bank may not allow it. They may not allow you to make, another disadvantage here, 2 house payments at the same time for an undetermined time period. Again, you don't really know. Maybe your house, you do buy something first, but then you struggle to sell your house for one reason or another. Again, your bank may not allow you to take on 2 loans at the same time, make 2 payments at the same time. So obviously that's a big disadvantage. It could be really scary. And the third disadvantage, you could potentially sell your home for less than it's worth because, again, maybe you buy a house, you have 2 payments for a couple of months. Maybe it starts adding up to where you just don't want to make 2 payments anymore. So you need to drop the price on your house fast so it sells and you can only have 1 payment. The plan of action for option 3, buying first, check with your bank and lender to see if they'll approve you to own 2 houses simultaneously. Again, they will pre-approve you and check to make sure you can afford 2 house payments at the same time. Once they do, you can find your next home, get an offer accepted on it, and purchase it and close on it. Then you would call me to list your house and get it up for sale at whatever time period really works for you. So those are your 3 options when you're wanting to buy, but you also still have a house to sell. Again, all 3 options I think are really good for buyers and sellers, and it can be tailor-made to your specific situation. So if you're interested in trying to buy and sell houses at the same time, please feel free to give me a call at 567-356-7610, and we'll put together a personalized plan of action to buy and sell both of your houses.